going on, guys? My name is Xavier. So,
And we're back to another episode of The Hated Truth. What's up, guys? It's your boy Bayo J3.
Oh wow, yeah, you cut him off a little early. What's up, guys? It's Chulo. Nice to see you guys again. Nice to be here. Got a friend here, but first.
Hi guys, it's Faye, and yes, we are back. And today we are talking real estate, and we have a special guest that is an expert and is going to teach us a lot. And we're going to let him introduce himself officially.
hi, what's going on? My name is Xavier Silva. I'm the real estate professional on the episode today.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you.
Welcome.
No.
All right. This season, we have been doing our best to bring people on that are going to be teaching not only us, but teaching all of you some very essential information, I would like to say. So if you guys have been keeping up with us, we have taught you guys about cooking. We've taught you guys about stocks. And today we're here learning about real estate. So I think to start off first, because everyone thinks of real estate just as home, just owning a home, right? So what would you say the actual definition, what would your definition be of real estate? What do you identify that as?
I think real estate is anything that has property, land, any way you can, in my case, like to monetize it. So you think commercial properties, malls is real estate, restaurants, just a lot of land, anything that you could build something on,
Right.
that you can acquire and own is real estate.
A home is real estate.
A home is definitely real estate. Correct.
See, but most people just think a home is real estate. I mean, ideally, the first thought that comes to your mind when you say real estate is owning your first home with your family, your kids, your little dog that I drew.
That American dream.
That American dream.
American dream. I think that's
White picket fence.
I
Yeah.
think that's the traditional definition.
Yeah, right.
Where most people just think of real estate as home, and I think it also has to do with a lot with our background.
Yeah.
What we're taught on by our elders, our family members, our circle of influence, and the lack of knowledge or thereof is where we just think of real estate as a home.
Yeah.
But there's tons of real estate.
I believe it. I mean, don't get me wrong. My home is a multifamily home, and my mom was like, you don't have you didn't get a single family home. Like, why do you want to share your house with other people, with
Right.
strangers, or you're gonna have to deal with these people?
Yeah,
And that's just one form of real estate.
absolutely.
Daniel said, "Show me the money."
Right.
So I didn't say that.
No,
I
it's,
didn't say that.
well, that's what I was going to say. And I just think that if we're talking about the traditional idea of real estate, I don't think that a lot of our parents or anybody that came before us and taught us realize that it's also a way of making money. It's not just a way of making sure that you're comfortable and you're settled, but it's a very good opportunity on how to invest and make money. So with that being said, it's actually a perfect segue into our first question. And it would be, what's, in your opinion, what's better, to rent or to buy?
So ownership is always key, right? Especially with real estate, that's where you acquire a lot of wealth.
Okay.
Now, if you think about, obviously, depending on life circumstances, you're gonna have to obviously at some point rent, unless you're lucky enough to inherit real estate. So at a certain point, I would always recommend someone to own and buy real estate. Just because it puts you years ahead of the renter. So,
How would it put you years ahead?
because real estate appreciates.
Okay.
So, if you real estate, and we'll go back to homes talking right now. Real estate appreciates anywhere from 2 to 3% a year. Where you're renting, it's just a monthly expense.
So you're just losing money as a renter.
Yeah, but you're losing money, but you obviously need a place to live, right?
Yeah.
So it's an essential.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And housing will always be essential.
Mm-hmm.
So if you put that in that perspective, right?
Yeah.
If you become a owner of real estate, you have the ability, if you do multifamily, or even if you do single family, you have the ability to house somebody.
Yeah.
And then that's how you get money, right? And you monetize real estate.
Amazing.
How did you get into real estate? Like, what sparked your interest? But I know you were telling us that you are like out there trying to get clients. So can you explain that to?
So I am a licensed realtor. how I got into real estate, it's a funny story, right? I'll take it back to when I was like 19, 20 years old. I came across some money from a lawsuit. And the first person that I went and reached out to was my mom. And I said, Mom, I want to buy a home. Now, she looked at me like I was crazy. She's like, you're 19, 20 years old. You have no idea what you're doing. And she was right. I didn't. But that was the idea that I had back in my head. To cut that story short, she told me no. But it was always something that I looked into. So I started educating myself, reading more books, things of that nature. And then in 2012, 2013, we partnered up, me and my wife partnered up with my wife's mother, and we bought a property in Newark. And that was basically, we were living for free.
Okay.
And we were able to save funds and buy another home, which basically pushed my real estate investing and thought process to another level, just because I could see what it did for me and what it could do for my kids in the future.
Right.
But now, you said living for free. Like, what do you mean by living for free? So, for the people listening, I mean, living for free just means you weren't paying anything,
Right,
but you
sounds
got a
good.
mortgage, you know?
Yeah, so you like I just said before, it gives you the ability to house other people, right? So it's a term called house hacking. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it or not.
Your first term.
House
down.
hacking.
By
Break it
house
down.
hacking, what house hacking is when you purchase a property and you have other people living in there as well. But majority of the mortgage is paid by the tenants. So in this example, in the property in Newark, it's a multi-family house. There was 3 apartments. We made an extra apartment in the basement. Legal. I won't get into that.
We
but-
don't know nothing.
But the other units were basically taking care of the mortgage. So, in the example, the mortgage is $1,800. In the second unit, I'm getting $1,600. In the third unit, I'm getting $1,200. The basement, I'm getting $1,000. My mortgage is $1,800.
Yep.
Subtract that.
You're exceeding your mortgage and making something.
You mean the positives.
I'm
Positive
in the
cash
positive.
flow.
Exactly.
Positive.
Okay.
So with real estate, it's all about the purchase point or the purchase price that you buy it at, and that's how you're able to come out with profits, and that's where the term house hacking comes from. Where
Got
the
it.
majority of your mortgage, or at least 75% of your mortgage is paid off, would be considered a good deal.
Right.
Awesome.
Okay.
And that's all working down the numbers, so that would be considering the down payment that you put in, your monthly mortgage, and obviously the rate that influences what that number is.
Yes, I mean, so the down payment it all depends, right? So for first time home buyers, it's 3.5%, which is what's considered a FHA loan.
First time.
First time, exactly.
First time, 3.5%. Write it down.
Now, ideally, my recommendation to someone that wants to invest into real estate or into multifamily properties, as a first-time home buyer, I would definitely recommend buying a multifamily, because it's gonna put you 3 steps ahead of the person that buys a single-family home,
Yep.
Right.
where now you're actually getting money coming in for a property that you're technically, if you put it on paper, only paying half, depending on the price that you bought it at. So where someone was buying a single family home for $300,000, you buy a multifamily for $600,000, and somehow your tenant's paying half of that. You're really essentially only paying $300,000 towards an
For that
asset of
house.
$600,000.
Got it.
You get what I'm saying? So
But your net worth is $600,000.
Right.
where the other person is $300,000.
Exactly.
And then everything's also a tax write-off in a multifamily
Yeah.
property, where in a single family you can't have that as a tax write-off.
Oh.
So
Life hacks.
Exactly.
Life
So
hacks.
anything that I put into my multifamily property,
Yep.
that a single family property might have to do so as well, I could write it off of my taxes. A single family property can't, unless they actually rent it out to a tenant. But as long as they're living in that property, they won't be able to do that.
Okay. And I actually have some questions on that, because while we were doing a little bit of our homework, I saw that taxes did come up. So we'll come around to that as well.
Okay.
So maybe you can explain that a little bit better for those who are actually here for the one-on-one part. You know, where we're really just trying to get the basics of it. Now you said down payment. You said 3.5% for first-time buyers, right? Now, what would you say the cost of renovating a place to then rent out would be? Like, what does that look like in terms of money management?
So I think that's a very important decision you have to make when you do go into multifamily investing. You don't want to break the bank, so you don't want to go too deep into your pockets to make the property or the unit look amazing. I'll tell you what I did. I looked around and see what the units were going for in my area, and I thought, how can I make it look better than that without breaking the bank?
Right.
So it was just a matter of painting, putting tile floors, and updating the kitchen. And with rent, with my particular area, and this is Lodi, was going for about $1,500-$1,600. I was able to increase it to $1,800 a month. So I was able to, a net profit in my eyes was $300 more than the regular
Right.
unit was
Monthly.
going.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And as a matter of fact, the tenant, when she walked in, she was like, "I'll take it. This is the most beautiful apartment I've seen."
Nice.
And I was like, "All right, cool, done deal."
Yeah, right.
So,
On the spot.
easy.
And I didn't break the bank. I'd say I probably spent like maybe $5 or $6 grand on that,
Okay.
which I made it back that first year.
Right, of course. Yeah,
Which
yeah.
is amazing.
Now, a lot of those home renovations, you did yourself or did you hire someone to do?
So I'm not the DIY guy. I hate painting. I hate doing
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
on my own. I can't fix anything. I'm not good at that at all. So I hired people.
Okay, and even then you were able to make money.
Correct.
Okay.
And then that's another important thing. Once you hire someone and you build a relationship with somebody, especially as you become an investor, if you bring those same people into your deals,
All the time.
they're gonna give you better pricing as
Got it.
well. So
Right, because you're providing them with work.
correct. It's a business.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
consistent.
yeah,
It's-
yeah,
yep.
yeah.
It's a business, which is what I want people to think of real estate as. If you want to invest in it, it's a business.
Yep.
It's now, you take the emotion out of it. I know it's hard to say, but people could become attached to properties and things. Like me, I have no attachment to any property.
Nice.
It's just, to me, it's just a business and it's a goal where I want to get to.
Ah. So yeah, that thing that you said about getting attached to properties, so it goes back to that American dream, like drawing the oh, you're this tall now on the wall, this tall now on the wall, and now that piece of wall you want to take it with you wherever you move, but if
Or
you're
you
not
don't want to
attached
leave
to it,
because all the kids have the childhood memories there.
yeah. So I guess that makes it really hard for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
When-
It makes it hard for my mom.
Yeah. I mean,
Absolutely.
TV shows you that that's what you want to go for. Well, that's how you want to live. That's where you want to get to. That's the goal. But no actuality, I guess it's a trap in a sense.
I would agree, but I'll take it, like, my mind is always twirling around, and I'll take it back to, like, I put it on our childhood, the way I know,
Yeah.
my
Very
mom
traditional.
migrated from Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
my dad migrated from Peru. Their American dream was just getting here,
Mhm.
Yep.
right? And then when they got here, their American dream was buy a home,
Yep.
and let my kids grow up in that home, and they did that, and that's where it stopped.
Yeah.
They achieved that, but it's because they didn't know any better.
Right.
Right? But now I look back and I think of other ethnic groups, other races, and see how they become successful. And now that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to imitate them, because a lot of Caucasians, a lot of Asians, a lot of Indians, a lot of Portuguese, like, they own a lot of real estate,
Of course.
and they're very successful and they're very wealthy. Now, do I want to be very wealthy? Absolutely. But why do I want to be wealthy? Is because I enjoy my time. I don't like going to a 9 to 5 and being like, listen, you could take lunch at this time, you can do this or whatever. You can't
Yeah.
take off, you can't take vacation.
You like being your own boss.
I like just being free. You get me? I don't like exchanging my time for money anymore.
Of course.
For sure.
I want every dollar that I make, I'd rather just put it back to work and,
Yeah.
and let my money make money, and I can have my time.
It's building that financial
But
freedom.
that's why I want wealth, and other people are motivated by other factors. But
Right.
that's why I got into real estate. I enjoy real estate a lot. I enjoy business. I enjoy numbers. That's why I do it.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone has a reason why, and everyone, if they do get interested into real estate investing, everyone will find a reason that fits them as to why they want to do it. Other people that I know do flips, do partnership deals. Everyone has a different why, but that's my why.
So there's multiple different avenues and ways to make money in it.
Absolutely.
So it's not just buying your property and making it a rental property or an Airbnb. What would be considered a flip then, or a partnership, like you just said?
So a flip, and I did a flip with a partner from North Bergen whose name is Angelo. He's very good, actually. He found the deal. So you buy at a purchase price, and you want to do value adds. So for
Yep.
example, when he bought the home, it was a 3-bedroom, 1 bath, but he converted it into a 4-bedroom, 2 bath.
Oh wow. Okay.
which brings the value of the property way up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we bought it at 300,000. Ended up selling for about 550,000.
Oh wow.
Nice.
And how
So-
much, more or less, how much did you guys put into it?
For renovations.
So the way it was done with like regular people just investing their own money into the deal, which I was an investor as well.
Okay.
So you get a return on your investment. I was
Based
lucky,
on whatever you
yeah,
put.
I was lucky enough to get 15% back.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
shout out to Angelo.
Braga
Yeah.
said, "Oh yeah, noted."
Here's my $100.
Yeah.
I'll take my 15. Thank you.
I had a couple, you know.
Yeah.
Little son to
It
play
was
with.
done during the pandemic, so shout out to Angelo because
Oh,
he,
yeah, that's
he
great.
killed that deal.
Okay, well, I
That's
think
impressive.
yeah, that is impressive. I think that's a very good point to make. I know sometimes with these conversations, it can be a little hard to follow, and just to kind of break down into understandable terms. You don't have to necessarily buy in order to make money off of real estate. You can invest like you
Absolutely.
did, right? So
Correct.
you can have money and say, hey, listen, put me down for this much, and then whatever return is what you then take back. So I
Correct.
think that's super important because honestly, I was very oblivious to that. So I didn't know that there was other ways of investing in real estate in terms like that, what he just explained. So I wanted to make that a point. So I think that's cool. I think that's important.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to say that those are all advantages of owning real estate. Bayo made a good point earlier when we were talking before we started recording, and he said that a lot of people have made millions in property versus other industries. What would your take on that be? Is that accurate?
That's definitely accurate.
The regular person.
There's more average people that become millionaires off of real estate than any other industry. That's 100% facts.
So, and the way I put it, I think they value a person's millionaire by their net worth, right?
Correct.
So, you're telling me if I come up with $50,000, then I can throw up my value on a $300,000 property, and now my net worth just went up from $50,000 to $300,000, right? And then if I do it again, it goes up to $600,000, $900,000, right? So now it would be essentially, let's say, and I'm thinking just simple terms, right? I'm just saying it in with $150,000. I made my net worth go up to almost $1 million, 900,000, and that was really quick in 3 properties.
Correct.
Essentially, yeah. Now,
Yeah.
those, I mean, in those terms, keep it as basic as
Yeah,
possible.
yeah, of course.
Those properties would have to be what I would consider cash flowing,
Yes.
where basically nothing, no expense is really coming out of your pocket. It would be a tenant, anybody else that's paying for
The
that
rent.
mortgage, no.
And it
amount-
covers
amount-
everything
and it
plus
covers
extra
everything,
expenses.
correct.
Yes.
Because essentially, then you'll be there free and clear, and all that property will be yours.
Yep. And then
And that's
essentially when the property itself appraises, right, the value of the property goes up as well.
Mhm.
So now in those properties are no longer worth 300,000. Now they're worth 350 each. You're over $1 million
Correct.
over time because
Which you can also tap into that, which
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know, right?
take out the equity. Oh.
Exactly.
Y'all are getting
Hold
Give me,
on,
give me,
hold on,
give
hold
me.
on.
yeah, y'all are getting fancy. I'm like, hold up.
Explain to me. Oh, my watch wants me to stand up. No.
No.
Explain to me.
This just got good. Sit in.
Explain to me what you mean by tapping in to that equity.
So, for example, I buy a house 3 years ago. It's 150,000.
When you first bought it.
I'm giving you an example.
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
right,
So
right.
when
Yeah,
I first buy
yeah.
it, it's 150,000, right? The area, the neighborhood, the community all gets developed, and it boosts my property value up to 300,000. Now, what I had essentially bought for 150,000, I am now sitting on a property that's 300,000. I can go to you, you're the banker, and say, listen, my property is now worth 300,000. I want to tap into the equity. I want to take a loan against my house and say I need 50,000. So I say, yo, this is my house. Appraise it. It's worth 300. Give me 50,000. Now I have 50,000. I can take that 50,000 and go put it on a down payment on
On
another
New
someone
property
house.
and continue that cycle. You get what I'm saying?
Now, my question is, you know how you bought it at 150,000, right? You're still paying that 150,000 off.
Correct.
If it gets appraised to 300,000, does that mean that now the house is pretty much, if you once you sell it, if you sell it at that value, you pretty much made your money back for what the house
Yes,
was worth.
and he
in a
would
sense,
have
right?
he would have the 150 if he wanted to sell it at that.
Yeah, so if I take 50 against the house that I already have 150, and obviously I'm paying this mortgage down, mortgage note down. So let's just say I'm at 140. I take 50, so now I'm back at 190. But my house is still worth 300.
Right.
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no,
Exactly.
Braulio was saying it in
I'm
the
saying,
sense
but at
of
that point,
if
let's
you
say
sell
if you
it,
sell it,
you would take
you
the
say-
150 on top. Oh, well, 160.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I clear everything.
just.
But why would you
just-
want to do that when
I'm
it's just
yeah, but
building
I'm
up?
just making simple math.
Right.
But,
Making it
yeah,
make
because, I
sense.
mean,
Yes.
At that point, you know, let's say at your retirement time and that happens.
you don't want to go investing. You just want to
Fuck
pay
that, I
off.
just want to sell everything.
Right.
Sell it to my kids.
Which,
Right.
which people do.
Yeah.
Which people do.
Just, you know,
Yeah.
giving
Your
giving different
options.
options,
Right.
you know.
Mhm.
I mean,
course.
that wouldn't sell. I would do that.
Well,
I'm-
the saying goes is you don't wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and wait.
Correct.
That's the
Yeah.
saying.
Wow,
Because
you hear that?
After you wait, after you
Take
wait
that.
all that time is when you're accumulating the appreciation. You're accumulating
Yeah.
everything, and that's where your wealth or your net
Increases.
worth.
Increases.
Gotcha.
Increases.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Real
Can
easy.
you tell us about some of the tax benefits? Like I said, you mentioned it earlier. So what would be some of the tax benefits in owning real estate?
So the most important one in my eyes is anything that you put to increase the value of the property. Every dollar that you spend trying to increase the value of your own property, you're able to write that off. So if I spend $10,000 trying to improve my property and I have a tenant living in there, I could write off $10,000. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where if someone, for example, if someone does a roof on a single family home, that's $15,000 right off the rip.
Gone.
That's it. It's $15,000.
As a
You're
loss.
not- you're not getting that
as a
back,
loss.
right.
If I'm doing that on a multifamily, I can write that off or get a percentage of that off.
Yep.
And it's basically money coming back into my pocket because I'm also increasing the value of my home,
Right.
which is also forced appreciation on my home. But I'm also getting everything back that I did that for.
Gotcha.
Nice.
You have to
Okay.
add, multifamily investing is a business. It's a business, and even in our tax form of the United States, it's treated as a business. So
So treat it as a business.
so treat it as a business.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
If you're
There's
doing
money to
investing.
be
Right,
made.
of course.
So
Yes.
I read something about making an LLC for yourself
Mhm.
for those homes. Do you recommend that?
I think at a certain point, once you reach a certain level, it's all preferential. I think once I reach a certain point, I think I would do that. Where I'm at right now, I don't feel the need to. It's more protection for yourself,
Exactly.
Yeah.
just in case something goes wrong on the property. And I also feel like you have to reach a certain type of net worth to even be concerned with that.
Yeah.
Like if someone that owns 5 homes can get away with just everything under their name, someone that owns 50, 60 properties, I think you've reached a different level, and I think you need to protect
Threshold.
yourself at a different level.
That's
So-
the monopoly man. 4 houses, get a hotel.
But there's people that have LLCs with 60 properties. I think it's all preferential.
Gotcha.
So I can't say whether it's right or wrong. I think it depends on the person.
On the circumstances. Now, can you tell me what an LLC means?
So it's basically a separate entity where you would be as the owner. You as a person would own that entity or own that company. The LLC, and most common in real estate, it's like if the house is on 123 Main Street, it'll be 123 Main Street LLC. So,
Okay.
So it's just basically, on paper, you're not the owner. The LLC is the owner.
Oh,
But
okay.
you are the owner of the
Of the
LLC.
LLC.
Got it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I
it legally protects you. So if something happens on the property, they'll try to sue the LLC. But you own the LLC, so they can't come after your personal stuff or your personal
Oh,
assets.
okay.
Yeah.
They
I
can
see.
only go after the LLC's assets, which in reality is just the home.
Exactly.
Got
So,
it.
and then
You protect your
hopefully-
personal assets.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
Oh, okay.
In like 10, 15 years, we'll have the Hated Truth Hotel. And
We're growing, we're growing.
Hated Truth Hotel by
We'll be broke.
Hilton.
By
Hey!
Hilton.
That'd
yeah,
be great.
partnership.
just let me know if you want to join in. You know?
If you want to invest.
If you want to invest, let
We're
us
gonna
know.
create that partnership.
We're gonna make it. You heard it here first. Don't doubt me.
So what are some final tips that you would give a first-time home buyer? that you want to let them go away with?
So, to get into a home is really not that expensive at all.
Okay.
I mean, I know New Jersey properties are skyrocketing right now, but in reality, depending on your purchase point, and obviously you want to be comfortable and be able to afford the mortgage, I think anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 can get you into a property.
Wow.
Where most people don't know that. Most people think they need to come up with 20%.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the case. Obviously, the FHA allows you to do 3.5, and there's actually programs out there that allow you to do conventional with a 5%.
Yep.
If it's your first time home as well.
By conventional.
So there's the two different types of loans.
Yeah.
FHA is targeted for the first home buyer. Conventional is less strict. Is not as. So when I say it's less strict, it's not as
Demanding.
Not that it's not as demanding. So the FHA is backed by the government.
Okay.
So there's certain criteria that the property has to meet
Uh-huh.
for them to give you the FHA loan. So as a realtor, right, if you see a FHA loan and a conventional loan, you kind of want to lean towards the conventional loan because you know the
You get away
criteria
with
that
more.
the FHA can break the deal.
Mhm.
Okay.
But it's still a great program, and it's still a program that first-time home buyers should use if it makes sense.
Yep.
Where versus a conventional loan, there's the 5% is a little bit more, and the criteria is not as strict.
Okay.
So it can make your offer a little bit more appealing.
Okay.
But those are the most common loans out there. There's a whole bunch of other programs out there. I remember when you were looking, I told you about the 203K, which is also FHA, and that's where they give you money
To renovate.
to renovate your property, and then they just
Yeah.
add that into your mortgage, and you pay that off that way.
Oh.
So there's
Take notes.
There's tons of information, and I could go hours talking to this, but I know you guys are 30 minutes or so.
I mean, I don't know where we are on time, but I honestly have a couple more questions, to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
Because we spoke a lot about the advantages of owning real estate. What would you say some of the risk of either purchasing real estate or investing in real estate would be?
There's always going to be risk in investing. I think the most common mistake in real estate investing is overvaluing the property. So meaning you pay more than what it's really worth. It really comes down to numbers. I'm a numbers guy. Everything.
And numbers don't lie.
And numbers don't lie. You might be off a little
Right.
bit, but it, as long as you're in that range, I think you're good. And so people, especially right now, during this time right now where the market's on high demand, I put in an offer maybe 2-3 weeks ago on a property that was $40,000 over listing, and I still lost it. I still didn't get it. So that means that the house was worth $360 or listed for $360. I offered $400,000 and I still didn't get it
Because somebody offered more than you
because
did.
somebody offered more.
Because they wanted it more.
And to me that made absolutely no sense because numbers wise, the way I'm breaking it down, it just doesn't. It's not a good deal for me.
Yeah.
Right.
That person might look at it a different way and be like, or maybe they're living in it and they're getting it that way. But I think that's the most common mistake when investing in real estate is paying too high.
Okay. Now, what would you say what would some tips be for someone who might be falling into that? Where you are very well aware of the numbers and how that works, but someone who might be first time and is looking into a property that might be overpriced, let's say for me, if I were to go, is there any website or app or any book that can sit there and help me break down as to whether it's overpriced or not? Is it worth it or not?
For sure. There's a YouTube podcast that I follow.
Oh, nice.
It's called Bigger Pockets.
Bigger Pockets?
Bigger Pockets. I've been following them for, I want to say, for maybe about 2 or 3 years. I fell off a little bit on it, but they have tons of information, and it's all around the country. So New Jersey's an expensive market, and it's more tenant friendly than landlord friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that the courts in a civil matter usually side with the tenants.
Okay.
And New Jersey property taxes are very high, which cuts into your profits as an investor. But not saying that there's not great deals out here. You could definitely find great deals. Go back to
The podcast you said was a
the
good
podcast,
source.
the Bigger Pockets, yes. The podcast, they also have people that write books on that podcast.
Okay.
And I think The House Hacking by Craig Curelop is a great book that I've read as well.
I mean, well, we're gonna go ahead and tag both. We're gonna go ahead and put both of those on our captions. If he comes up with any between now and the time that we post them up, of course we'll mention them to you guys because I'm pretty sure he's not gonna think of all of them off the top of his head. You know, so we'll definitely go ahead and provide those resources for you. We went over that. And we went over that, and that was all I had because we covered everything in between. Bayo already went ahead and asked if you had any last tips. Do you have anything else that maybe you'd wanna give
Off the top
as
of the
advice?
dome.
Right.
As far as investing, as far as
Getting into real estate.
Yeah.
if you're interested or thinking of getting into real estate, my advice to you is go ahead and do it. Look for people that have some type of experience in it. Ask questions. If you guys want to hit me up, you guys can hit me up.
I feel like you're speaking to me directly.
Because you want to do it.
Yes,
That's
I
why.
I think once you do it and you see the benefits it can bring you, you'll be extremely happy, and that's a motivating factor to keep on going.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, I mean, I did it, and I'm not the smartest person in the world. You get me? Like we all have a very similar circle of friends, and me especially. Like I'm all for pushing the people around me and the people that I'm close with and people that look like me, because the truth of the matter is that most wealthy people don't look like us.
Right.
They're,
That's very true.
They're not Latino. They're not the minority. It's and I go back to what I said it before. It's Caucasians, it's Asians, it's Indians, and why can't it be us?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Why
Definitely
can't it be us?
can be.
Let's make it happen.
Word. Let's all make
I'm
it
all
happen.
for it. I'm all for it.
They already started. Chulo's next. I gotta give me a couple years. We're not really there yet. But whenever we circle back to this in a couple years, then we'll all be owning property.
And then we'll do the next episode
And then we'll do the next episode on it.
Look
at what we got.
made it.
we're in our own property.
Thank you so much for coming
Thank you for having
and giving out all this very useful information. We hope that it's always useful to you guys. We hope you guys took notes. Thankfully, you guys have this on YouTube, so rewind, take the notes. LLC, your 3.5%. I learned a lot today.
Yeah,
Check me out. I'm about to go invest.
Red Hacky.
What? Oh yes, rent hacking. Yeah.
House hacking.
House hack.
Clearly, someone was not paying attention.
I'm gonna rewind.
Too many terms.
Too many.
Bayo, do you have anything?
I'm good. I'm ready. I love all this stuff. I'm ready to learn more and see what else we can get out of you after this.
Yeah,
sure.
Bayo was super excited for this today. FYI. So, B, you got anything?
Like, subscribe, put your notification on, follow us, and enjoy the content. And
Why is he taking your line?
I know. I'm looking at him like, oh, do your thing.
sometimes we forget, so I have to.
We do forget.
I remember this time.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys always do everything he just mentioned and share. Send this to your friends.
Yeah,
Send it to someone that's looking to invest. Make sure you guys are spreading the knowledge.
The knowledge, yeah.
And as always,
Hate it.
Hate it.
hate it.